So we've all got boring bits, and I'm convinced that to teach the boring bits of math, we've got to ripple kids' waters. You all have boring bits, I do also. There's different ways that we have for teaching those, for making those a little less boring. One way is to create these graphic organizers called foldables and put the boring bits in the foldable where they can be retrieved later. Or maybe we flip the boring bits, send the boring bits out of class into the home, and why kids will like them there, I'll never know if they don't in the classroom. But that's one way to do it. I want to propose a different way, and that's to look at this quote and decide if you agree with it in 15 seconds, and give me a thumbs up if yeah, a thumbs down if no. You can go kind of side to side-ish if you want to. You know, you can choose a different route here. These guys right here, they kind of walk it back a little bit and say, okay, we went a little too far. There's trivia that you don't need to have a problem to know. But this next bit is really the key to transforming the boring bits into interesting bits, as far as I can tell. This quote right here, I'll get behind 100%. Feel free to circle the unfamiliar words up there if you want to. Some middle school unfriendly words, of course. Call it like a ripple if you want to, a ripple in the brain, some kind of intellectual need for new knowledge. This is my ideal class right here. Kids come in and their minds are still. I do something, show something, say something, ask something. Their minds get rippled. Across their face goes this expression, wait, what? And then I can teach and instruct and their minds are still again. It's my ideal classroom. I know how to do this better with real world type stuff, showing a guessable, concise question that kids can not get overwhelmed by with information and structure and abstraction. It's the pure stuff that sometimes gets me down. Function vocabulary, for instance. You know, that's the sort of thing I just say to kids, like, all right, you got to just write this down in your foldable or in your notebook. We'll have a binder check later. You just got to get that down somewhere. I'll grade it. I want to offer a different way of how do we create that mental ripple out of the boring stuff like that. Here's the idea, is that you and I are both looking at a graph, okay? And you type a description of your graph to me, and I to you. We switch them like that. Now, I've got to draw your description. I have a hard time with it because you don't know any of those words yet. So my graph is real miserable, and yours is of mine too. We swap the graphs back. I see how rough yours was of my description, and now I have this mental ripple. Like, I want to know how to communicate better and create a better graph. Let me show you what students do with this kind of game right here. Check this out. I want you to tell me, what graph is this student trying to describe right here? Can you tell your neighbor? Use your finger. You have 30 seconds. Get some time here in this one. "15 seconds. Answer's coming. Get it down." I love that last line. That last line just does it for me right there. Here it is. Nailed it? Did you get that? Ish? Oh gosh. Next one's even harder here, but look at that right there. And look at how her explanation makes so much sense to her, but she doesn't know the vocabulary yet. Her mind is rippled. Here's another one. Gets real tough. What is this person trying to describe right here? What is going on here? "30 seconds. "15 seconds. Answer's coming. It'll make sense when you see it. I swear. It makes sense to her. But she lacks the words for it, doesn't she? You had that, right? That was you? I mean, look at what she's done there. You know, it'd be nice if she said start in quadrant 3 at the start, perhaps, but she's, like, what is she doing there? She's inventing coordinates in this battleship-style structure there. Like, I love both of these. I stare at these and see in them the boring bits transformed into this mental ripple, where these students, like, they do this, and now they want to know the vocabulary we can teach them. Kid on the left there wants to know what kind of words. Tell me, what would be helpful for her? Axis, for instance, quadrant. Kid on the right would love to know how coordinates work. And so I look at this sometimes, I tell myself, like, even the bits that I thought were most boring can possibly be transformed into interesting bits by creating that mental ripple. So take what you dislike, the boring stuff, and think of times where you've had your own mind rippled by some obscure corner of mathematics. Find a way to ripple your kids' minds too. Thanks a lot, guys.